All right, really quickly, the shirt is KO Dot. They were really awesome Toby Driver, originally avant-garde metal, currently new wave trippy stuff. Project, they're amazing. Check them out. I've seen them twice. So, onto the album. This is Mr. Bungle's The Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny demo. It is a really awesome supergroup version of a recreation of the demo, the Mr. Bungle demo, when they were a thrash band released on Ipecac Records, Mike Patton's record label. And so, a thrash band is an oversimplification. There's a lot more to this. The musicians on this are amazing. Dave Lombardo is the drummer, one of my favorite drummers ever. Mike Patton's the vocalist from Mr. Bungle, Faith No More, Tomahawk, Phantom Oz, all kinds of really cool stuff. And he's one of my favorite vocalists ever. Also a Mike Patton solo project of sorts. He has one of the largest vocal ranges in rock and metal. You can look it up. It's really, really cool. Also, let me pronounce his last name correctly. The guitarist is a criminally underrated guitarist. Hold on, his last name. I think it's Spruance. Yeah, Spruance. Trey Spruance is an incredibly underrated guitarist. I want to make sure I pronounce. Hopefully that's pronounced correctly. But he has an amazingly dynamic guitar tone. He does all kinds of different stuff on here. Although this is primarily a thrash and crossover thrash album, it's subverted by the presence of other genres like funk rock. There's some Faith No More-esque stuff on here. A Racist has some thrash on it, but it's more of like a single-ish Faith No More song plus thrash. Scott Ian is on this, one of the most amazing rhythm guitarists ever. And it's really weird to say amazing rhythm guitarists because they're rhythm guitarists, but rhythm guitarists are worth their weight in gold if you have an awesome rhythm guitarist. So this is a fantastic album. It starts with Grizzly Adams, which is this really surreal half second person perspective, like Choose Your Way Adventure, 80s Choose Your Way Adventure book. They were really popular in the 80s, type thing with a horror movie bent to it, and then it goes into some metal instrumentation. The second track, Anarchy Up Your Anus, is like a satirical crossover thrash song. It's very tongue-in-cheek. It's cool. Raping Your Mind is another kind of crossover thrash song. Hypocrites Habla Espanol Mujer is another kind of crossover thrash song. It has some like Mexican music to it. I don't want to say like Mexican hat dance, but it's has some Hispanic music to it, and it's kind of a satire. It seems like it's kind of a satire of Stormtrooper of Death Speak English or Die, which Scott Ian was also a part of, and then other things on here. Bungle Grind is really, really cool. Mathematics, Erasist kind of is completely different from some of the other stuff. It's one of the singles, and it's more of like a Faith No More-esque funk rock song combined with some thrash, but it's more of funk rock rather than crossover thrash and thrash. There are a lot of Mike Patton's vocals on this. The reason I'm skirting over some things is because I'm actually running out of time, and Mike Patton's vocals are so mercurial, I would say, that he can adapt to. It's amazing just to hear his vocals or any of the players on this. I really wish there was like a ultra version of this that's just the isolated vocal tracks, guitar tracks, drum tracks, bass tracks, etc., because it's all fantastic. And Mike Patton's voice can just adapt to anything. There's some black metal on here. There's some death metal. And it's so nuanced because he just kind of does it. It's amazing that you kind of lose track of it because this is kind of predominantly thrash and crossover thrash, and I would say like thrash, crossover thrash plus other stuff, and you could say this is also a lot of death metal, avant-garde metal. But some of the things, like if you listen to Anarchy Up Your Anus, there's some of Mike's vocals are, there's some punk, there's some higher pitched black metal-ish stuff, there's some like death metal punk stuff on it. There's so much that he does with his voice. It's astounding. One of the things, I'm about to run out of time. If you look up Mike Patton, I hope it's still there, has like an unaccompanied vocal solo. It's just astounding just to hear him sing and do whatever with just someone doing this with a human voice. And so this almost has infinite. I'm not going to say it has infinite replayability, but it has an incredible amount of replay value just because there's so many depths to Dave Lombardo's drumming, Mike Patton's vocals, and Spruance's guitar playing and everything else. And so I highly recommend you pick this up if you're into thrash, if you're into Faith No More. I'm really into pretty much anything Mike Patton touches. And so thank you. I love this album. And next is, I don't know. We'll see. So thank you and have a good night.